So here we are again, Suffolk's again, as promised, Suffolk Recoil spring. Now you probably do remember a couple of weeks ago we had a bit of a problem with a Suffolk Recoil. This was on the mystery mower, the Suffolk Real mower. So today we're going to put a new spring. Hopefully it won't cause me too much problems. So without further ado, we are going to take it off the mower. Now we're going to go back down here. Luckily enough, easy enough to take off. So we've got 3 securing nuts. And 3 washers, which no doubt are going to drop off. There we are. So I'm going to keep those. That's good. Right. So here we go. So we have here a Suffolk Lake plastic type recoil. Now you can sort of see how it works. And what I would say is, before you touch anything like this, unless you've done it before or very familiar, always worth taking a photo or a video if you like. And you can see how this type works, this modern type. If I pull it, you can see the little pulls come out. That starter cup is on the flywheel, and these little pulls engage. So that's how it engages. So before you touch that, just have a look or take a video, or draw it if you want. Now, if you're just replacing rope on something like this, luckily this type you really don't need to disturb the pulley itself, and I suggest you don't. You can see the knot there. In the case of replacing the rope only, have your new piece of rope ready. You're looking at about 1.30 meters, no more than that, allowing for knots. So in the case of replacing the rope, what you would do is you would pull it out as far as it can go, and then we can pull the knot out. We'll go around just actually a little bit further, as far as it will go. There we go. So we can pull the knot out. You might find you might want somebody else to grip the pulley to stop it retracting. You can cut the knot and then feed the new bit of rope, I think probably from the inside is probably better, and then obviously through the brass eye, tie your knot on, handle through the handle, and then just slowly let it go. That's assuming you've just got rope to do, but we're going to do a spring today. So what we're going to do is we're going to just sort of take the pressure off the spring. So all I'm going to do is just pull it out a bit. So we're just going to back off the rope, slowly let it go. There we are. So what we don't want, we don't want the spring under pressure when we remove this pulley. So first of all, we're going to remove the split pin. And obviously lay it all out as it comes. Pull holder, 2 pulls, spring. So the only thing I would suggest is, before you lift this off, keep your face away, because there's a spring there. It shouldn't be under pressure, but you don't want it coming off in your face. So what we're going to do is just gently sort of try and tease it off. There we are, 1 spring. So we've got our new spring here. to gently, and again, lift that out. New spring in, hopefully. There we go. Make sure it goes on the centre properly. A little bit of oil, new spring. And then we're going to put the recoil pulley. So you can see how it works. This lug has got to engage with the inner part of the spring. So we're going to line it up, and we're just going to see if we can get that to engage. So just going to tease it on. The way you know you've got it, obviously you know the rotation. So what we're going to do, we're just going to see if it will wind up. So we're not going to go too far, but we're just going to see. Yes, I can feel that the spring's located. So I think at that point I'm going to put the little spring back. Pulls back, the plate and the washer. Engage the pulls. I think we'll have a new split pin. So let's see what we've got here. So at this point it's fairly safe to start winding up the spring. So it's the opposite way to what the rope goes. So we're going to just keep going, 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 and going. And then obviously, with it. So in this case I can feel it's a little bit floppy. We're going to just one more turn on that. Rope. There we are. One more turn. So that's returning nicely. The only other check you need to do is just make sure you haven't overwound it. The easy test is, assuming you've got the right amount of rope, just pull it as far as it will go, and then if you can actually turn the pulley a little bit further, you've not overwound the spring. It's quite easy. So we're slowly going to let that go. Now the only thing fiddly with these recoils, you might want to keep yourself a selection of different size washers for this pull assembly, because it is very important that when you pull it, they do release. If you have too many washers on, you'll find you'll just pull it and they won't come out. If there's not enough, this lot's going to be very, very floppy, and at the nearest excuse when you pull it, these little pulls are just going to come off the anchor points. So it feels about right and looks about right, so we're going to bend the split pin over. We're going to just get a pair of side cutters and cut it. There. So we'll put that on in just a moment. Now, as I said, that's the plastic recoil, the later type. So what I've got here, that's one of my more favourites. We've got the older type cast recoil, which I rather like. You can see it works very differently. The spring's still the same, but the engagement is quite different. You've got that fella there, which is bolted to the flywheel, and that engages with the little pin. As soon as the engine fires, the centrifugal force throws the little pin outwards, and then it doesn't engage while it's running. So it's very, very simple. The only problem is with these older types like this, if you need to do the rope, sadly you do have to take the pulley out. It's really because of the knot and where it's located. So this hasn't got rope in it obviously, but I would have taken the tension off this pulley, and at that point, as I say, we're just going to keep a little bit of distance and we're going to hopefully wriggle this off. There we go. Look at that, somebody's pinched the spring, so there should be a spring in there. So On this one, once you assemble it, the only thing to really remember is the rope is, you can see it's in the pulley there. So to replace the rope, like I say, sadly you've got to take this pulley off, but you can probably see the rope in there. So you can see the hole there. So obviously you thread the rope through the right thickness, tie a knot, try and flatten it as much as you can, and then you pull it. And assuming you've got a recoil spring in there and somebody's not robbed it, you're ready to put it back in. The other thing that you have, it's quite easy. You've got this little collar and you've got a little locator on there. You can see the locator there, so you've got to make sure that that goes down nicely. So we're going to pretend we've got our spring there. Not a bad idea to put a little bit of oil on this as well, and obviously I've oiled my imaginary spring. So you know when that's sort of located because you can sort of see it and feel it's locked in there. If you put a bit of pressure on it, you can still turn it. So at that point, put the screw in. Do the screw up. And obviously when you pull the thing, it's going to, you're pulling it, and then to wind it up, you will wind it up like so. If it's a new bit of rope, you'll have to feed it through the eye handle. And again, the same procedure as the plastic one. Pull it till it stops, and then just push the pulley round a bit further to make sure you haven't overwound the spring. So luckily, they both run the same spring. Different setup with the engagement, but the fitting's all the same, and you will see both types of recoil on early and late machines. So what we're going to do, we're going to pop this back on. We're going to see if it works. So we've got our there. The nuts are stuck in the socket, but that's not a bad thing. Give a little dummy pull. There we are. Well, I think seeing it's a nice day, should we see if it's going to go this time? So, fuel tap on. Assuming we've got some fuel. Might be enough. So we're going to ticket it up. Full choke, stop off, get a bit of throttle. about that then. 98 cc's of Suffolk power. And the recoil didn't let me down. I hope you enjoyed the video. We're going to do another one. See you very soon.